I destroyed my marriage because I couldn't say no to someone who already broke my heart once. Everyone thinks I'm a cheating monster, but the truth is so much more pathetic than that. I didn't sleep with my ex. I wish it were that simple. Here's what's actually at stake. My husband of 6 years packed his bags and left our home without looking back. My sister won't speak to me. My best friend told me I deserve everything coming to me. But they're all angry about the wrong thing. They think this is about sex and betrayal, when really it's about how spineless I became the second Noah's name appeared on my phone screen. The scariest part? I knew exactly what I was doing when I opened that door, and I did it anyway. I'm going to walk you through every decision, every lie, every moment I could have stopped this. By the end, you'll understand why my husband was right to leave. Maybe not for the reasons you think. Because what happened that night wasn't the worst part. What I did in the weeks before was. 3 months ago, I had what I thought was a solid marriage. Not fireworks every day perfect, but comfortable, real. Mark worked long hours as a consultant, which meant frequent travel, but we built a life around his schedule. Thursday nights were our night. Takeout, bad reality TV, his phone on silent. I taught 2nd grade, so my schedule was predictable. We'd been trying for a baby for about 8 months, with no luck yet, which added some stress, but nothing we couldn't handle together. Then I got a Facebook message from Noah Chen, my ex from college. We dated for 2 intense years before he dumped me to take a job in Singapore. That was almost a decade ago. The message was casual, breezy even. Hey, can you believe it's been that long? I'm moving back to the area for work. Would love to catch up if you're around. I should have deleted it. Instead, I screenshot it and sent it to my friend Rachel with a string of wide-eyed emojis. She responded, "Do not engage. Nothing good comes from ex drama." But I told myself it was harmless. We were adults. I was married. What could possibly go wrong with getting coffee? I didn't mention it to Mark that night. Not because I was hiding it, I reasoned, but because it wasn't important enough to bring up. He was stressed about a big presentation anyway. I'd tell him later, once I decided whether to respond at all. 3 days passed before I replied, "Wow, blast from the past. Sure, coffee could be fun. Congrats on the move back." The coffee date happened on a Tuesday after school. I told Mark I was meeting Rachel, which wasn't technically a lie. I'd asked Rachel to come, but she'd refused and told me I was being an idiot. I wore my favorite green sweater. The one Mark always said brought out my eyes. Later, I'd wonder why I chose that one. Noah looked good. Damn good. He'd filled out, wore expensive clothes, had that successful person glow. We talked about his Singapore years, my teaching job, surface level catching up, nothing inappropriate. But when he said, "You know, I always wondered what would have happened if I hadn't left," my stomach did a flip I hadn't felt in years. "We were kids," I said, stirring my latte. "You made the right choice for your career." Did I though? He held my gaze a beat too long. I changed the subject, talked about Mark, our house, made my life sound perfect. Noah listened with this small smile, like he could see through me. When we hugged goodbye, he held on just a fraction longer than friendly. I drove home with my heart racing and immediately felt disgusted with myself. It was just coffee. I hadn't done anything wrong, but I still deleted the text thread with Rachel where I'd admitted where I was really going. And when Mark asked how Rachel was doing, I launched into a fake story about her dating life that made me nauseous to tell. That night in bed, Mark reached for me and I pulled away, claiming a headache. The truth was, I felt too guilty to let him touch me, which was insane, because nothing had happened. Nothing. Noah texted the next day, "Really great seeing you. Forgot how easy you are to talk to." I saved his number under Nina PTA, just in case Mark ever looked. That decision alone should have told me where this was heading. Over the next 2 weeks, Noah and I texted daily. Memes at first, then longer conversations. He was having trouble adjusting back to American life. I was having trouble with a difficult student's parent. We became each other's daily venting buddy. It felt innocent, just old friends reconnecting. I told myself Mark wouldn't care if he knew, but I still made sure he didn't know. Then Noah asked if I wanted to grab dinner. Totally casual, he wrote. I'm going crazy eating alone every night. I should have said no. I should have suggested he join a club, or use a dating app, or literally anything else. Instead, I said yes and told Mark I had a staff dinner for a colleague's retirement. The lie came out so smoothly, it scared me. Dinner was at a little Italian place Noah had discovered. Wine was involved. 2 glasses became 3. We talked about college, about the people we'd been, about his regrets. Mine too, though I didn't say that out loud. When he asked if I was happy in my marriage, I hesitated a second too long before saying yes. You paused, he said. Everyone pauses. Marriage is complicated. Is it though? When it's right, I mean. His hand was on the table, close to mine. Not touching, but close. I think about us sometimes. How simple it was. We were 21. Everything simple when you have no responsibilities. Maybe he flagged the waiter for another bottle. Or maybe we convinced ourselves grown-up life had to be harder than it needs to be. I should have left then. Instead, I let him pour me a 4th glass. By the time I got home at 11, Mark was already in bed, but not asleep. How was the dinner? He called from the bedroom. Boring, I said, busying myself in the bathroom so he wouldn't smell the wine. Just the usual teacher gossip. You sounded like you were having fun. I heard you laughing when you pulled up. My blood ran cold. I'd been on the phone with Noah, saying goodbye. Oh, Rachel called on my drive home. She's being dramatic about some guy. Another lie. So easy it terrified me. Mark traveled that next weekend Chicago for 3 days. I spent Saturday grading papers and meal prepping. Sunday, I deep cleaned the house. And when Noah texted asking if I wanted to check out a new art gallery exhibition, I told myself it was fine because Mark was out of town anyway, so what did it matter? The gallery was actually amazing. Noah and I wandered through installations, debating meanings, laughing at the pretentious descriptions. At one point, we stood in front of a massive abstract painting, all reds and blacks, and his shoulder pressed against mine. Neither of us moved away. I need to tell you something, he said, eyes still on the painting. I looked you up on purpose. When I found out I was moving back, the first thing I thought was that I'd get another chance with you. My heart hammered. Noah, I'm married. I know, and if you tell me to back off, I will. But I had to say it. I made the biggest mistake of my life when I left you. And I've spent 10 years trying to find someone who made me feel the way you did. No one comes close. I should have shut it down. Instead, I said, you can't just walk back into my life and say things like that. You're right. I'm sorry. But he didn't sound sorry. He sounded hopeful. Tell me you haven't thought about it, though. About us. The honest answer would have destroyed everything. So I said nothing, and my silence said everything. We left the gallery and walked to a nearby park, sat on a bench, talked for 2 more hours. He asked about my marriage, really asked, and I found myself telling him things I'd never told anyone. How Mark and I had fallen into a routine that felt more like roommates than lovers. How he prioritized work constantly. How I felt invisible sometimes, like I was just another item on his to-do list. How we'd been trying for a baby that wasn't coming, and the process had become mechanical and stressful instead of intimate. Noah listened without judgment. Told me I deserved to feel cherished, that he'd cherish me if I gave him the chance. When we hugged goodbye, his lips brushed my temple. I'm not going anywhere this time, he whispered. Whenever you're ready. I cried the whole drive home, not because I felt guilty, though I should have, but because I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. and I hated that it was because of someone who wasn't my husband. Mark came home Monday night with flowers and a plan to take me to our favorite restaurant on Thursday. Our night. He'd remembered even though he'd been swamped. He kissed me in the kitchen and said, "I missed you. I know I've been distracted with work. Let's reconnect." I should have felt grateful. Instead, I felt trapped. Thursday dinner was lovely. Mark was attentive, asked about my students, held my hand across the table. We talked about maybe taking a vacation, somewhere tropical. He even brought up the baby discussion, saying maybe we should see a fertility specialist just to check if there were any issues. "I love you," he said over dessert. I know I don't say it enough. "I love you too," I said automatically, and wondered when those words had become just sounds I made. That night I slept with my husband and thought about Noah. I hated myself, but not enough to stop. Noah started sending good morning texts, photos of his coffee, stupid jokes, songs that reminded him of me. I responded to every single one. We graduated to phone calls when Mark worked late. Hour-long conversations about everything and nothing. He asked what I was wearing once. Not sexual, just curious, and I told him. Described my ratty college sweatshirt and leggings with a hole in the knee. He said I probably still looked beautiful. These calls became the highlights of my day. I'd find myself rushing through dinner with Mark so I could claim exhaustion and go to bed early. Then I'd text Noah that the coast was clear, and he'd call. "This is emotional cheating," Rachel said when she finally confronted me. I'd slipped up and mentioned Noah by name. "You get that, right? You're having an affair even if you haven't touched him." "We're just friends," I protested. "Bull. Does Mark know about these just friends phone calls? It's not like that matters." "The fact that you're hiding it means it absolutely matters." She grabbed my shoulders. "End this before you destroy your marriage. Whatever you think you feel for Noah is just nostalgia and escapism. It's not real." But it felt real. More real than anything I'd felt in years. I didn't end it. Instead, things escalated. Noah started having problems with his apartment noise complaints, management issues. He was stressed, overwhelmed with his new job. When he mentioned looking for a new place, I found myself offering advice, looking at listings with him over video calls, helping him navigate the area since he'd been gone so long. Then one Tuesday, he texted, "Emergency, apartment flooded, water main break. Everything is soaked and they're saying it'll take days to fix. Can I call you?" He sounded genuinely distressed. The building was chaos. He'd been displaced with nowhere to go, and most hotels in the area were booked because of some conference. I listened, made sympathetic noises, suggested extended stay options. "I hate to even ask this," he said, "but is there any chance I could crash at your place? Just for one night until I figure something out. I can sleep on the couch." I wouldn't ask if I had literally any other option. Every alarm bell in my brain went off. This was the line. The obvious, clear, bright red line I absolutely could not cross. "Mark's out of town until Thursday," I said. I mean, it's just one night, right? As friends." What the hell was I thinking? I told myself it was fine. He was in crisis. I was helping an old friend. We were adults who could handle this maturely. Nothing would happen because I wouldn't let anything happen. I'd give him blankets, point him to the couch, and go to my room. Simple. I cleaned the house before he arrived. Changed the sheets in the guest room because the couch suddenly seemed too intimate. Put out fresh towels. Hid the wedding photos that were too prominently displayed. Then I changed clothes 3 times. Finally settling on jeans and a casual top, trying to thread the needle between frumpy and trying too hard. I put on makeup, just a little. Then felt pathetic and washed it off. Then put on less makeup. The whole production made me want to scream at myself. Noah arrived at 8 with a duffel bag and takeout Thai food. "You're a lifesaver," he said, hugging me at the door. "In my house. where I lived with my husband. I owe you big time. We ate at the kitchen table, the same table where Mark and I had our morning coffee, near we'd planned our future. Noah told me about the flooding disaster, his ruined belongings, the incompetent building manager. I poured us both wine without thinking about it. The conversation flowed like always, easy, natural. We moved to the living room, sprawled on opposite ends of the couch. 1 glass of wine became 2, then 3. At some point, we were sitting closer. His hand was on my leg, just resting there, casual. My head was tipped back against the cushions, and I was laughing at some story about his disastrous first week back in the States. "I forgot how happy you make me," he said. Suddenly serious. The air changed, charged. We were looking at each other, and I knew exactly what was about to happen. And I could have stopped it. Could have stood up, claimed tiredness, shown him to the guest room. Could have saved everything. "Noah," I started. "I know," he said. "I'm sorry, I should go to bed." But he didn't move. Neither did I. "This is a bad idea," I whispered. "The worst," he agreed, still not moving. We sat there for what felt like hours, but was probably seconds. His hand moved slightly on my leg. My breath hitched. The space between us was maybe 6 inches, and closing. Then my phone rang. Mark's name lit up the screen. Mark, my husband, calling to say goodnight, from his hotel in Denver, like he'd done every night he'd been away for 6 years. I grabbed the phone like it was a lifeline. "Hey, how's the conference?" "Boring. Missing you." His voice was warm, familiar, safe. "Just wanted to hear your voice before bed. What are you up to?" Noah was watching me. I couldn't look at him. "Oh, just watching TV. Grading papers, the usual." "Sounds cozy. I wish I was there." "Me too," I said, and part of me meant it. The part that wasn't intoxicated on wine and danger and the attention of someone who made me feel 21 again. We talked for 5 minutes. I laughed at his story about a colleague's terrible presentation. Told him I loved him. Hung up feeling like the worst person alive. I should go to the guest room. Noah said quietly, "Yeah, it's late." But we still didn't move. The spell was broken, but something had shifted. We'd almost crossed that line. We both knew it. "Thank you for this," he said. "For helping me. I know it's complicated." "It's fine. It's just one night. As friends." "As friends," he echoed, with a small smile that made it clear we both knew that word had lost all meaning. He went to the guest room. I went to my bedroom. Lay in my bed, the bed I shared with Mark, and stared at the ceiling. I could hear Noah moving around down the hall, taking a shower in our bathroom, settling into our guest bed. I should have felt terrible. Instead, I felt electric, alive. My phone buzzed, "Thank you again. Sleep well." I typed back, "You too," added a smiley face, deleted it, added it again, sent it. Lay awake until 3 in the morning, hyper-aware that Noah was just down the hall. I woke up at 6 to my alarm, disoriented and exhausted. Noah. Noah was in my house. I'd let my ex-boyfriend sleep in my house while my husband was out of town. In the harsh morning light, the magnitude of what I'd done hit me. I got up, pulled on a robe, crept downstairs. Noah was already awake, sitting at my kitchen counter with his laptop, looking devastatingly domestic, in sweats and a t-shirt. "Morning," he said. "Hope you don't mind I made coffee." "That's fine. Did you sleep okay?" "Great, actually. That bed's comfortable." He smiled. "I've been looking at apartments. Think I found a short-term rental I can move into today, actually. So I'll be out of your hair." "Oh, good, that's good." Why did I feel disappointed? Unless, he hesitated. "My lease doesn't start until tomorrow." Is it totally crazy to ask if I could stay one more night? I promise I'll be gone first thing Thursday morning, before your husband gets back. Yes, it was crazy. It was so far beyond crazy that the word didn't even apply. Sure, I heard myself say. One more night. His smile could have lit the whole house. You're the best. I'll cook you dinner tonight. It's the least I can do. I went to work in a daze, taught my second graders on autopilot. Rachel cornered me at lunch. You look awful. What's going on? Nothing, just tired. Don't lie, I know you too well. Is this about Noah? I couldn't meet her eyes. He's staying at my house. Excuse me? Her voice went up 3 octaves. Please tell me you're joking. Please tell me you did not let your ex-boyfriend stay at your house while Mark is out of town. His apartment flooded. He had nowhere to go. It's innocent he's in the guest room. We're just friends. You're insane, you know that? Actually insane. She leaned in close. End this, today. Tell him to get a hotel. Tell Mark everything when he gets home. Fix this before it's too late. Nothing happened. Yet. Nothing happened yet. She grabbed my hand. I love you, but you're making the worst decisions I've ever seen you make. Whatever you think this is with Noah, it's not worth your marriage. I knew she was right. Spent my whole prep period crafting a text to Noah, telling him he needed to find somewhere else to stay. Never sent it. Drove home after school with my heart pounding. This was it. The moment I became a cliché. The wife who betrays her husband in their own home while he's away working to provide for their future. Noah had been grocery shopping, was already cooking when I walked in some pasta dish that smelled incredible. He'd opened wine, set the table, even lit candles. What's all this? I asked, though I knew exactly what it was. Just wanted to say thank you properly for being amazing. We ate dinner, drank more wine. The conversation turned personal again. My marriage, his regrets, the life we could have had. I should have shut it down. Instead, I asked the question I'd been avoiding. Do you really think about us? Or is this just nostalgia? Every day, he said. For 10 years, you're the one that got away. The standard I measure everyone against. That's not fair. You left me. You chose Singapore. Biggest mistake of my life. I'm trying to unchoose it now. I'm married. Are you happy? The question hung there. I could have lied. Should have lied. Instead, I don't know anymore. I thought I was, but then you came back, and I remembered what it feels like to be excited about someone, to feel seen. Mark doesn't see you? He sees the version of me that serves him, the supportive wife, the future mother, the placeholder. I don't think he sees me. Noah reached across the table, took my hand. I see you. I've always seen you. We moved to the couch again, closer this time from the start. His arm around my shoulders, my head on his chest. Nothing sexual, but intimate in a way that felt worse than sex. We put on a movie neither of us watched. Just sat there, wrapped around each other, towing the line. I should go to bed, he said around midnight, before I do something stupid. Like what? Like kiss you. Like beg you to leave him. Like completely destroy the friendship you're generously offering. My heart was racing. Noah, tell me you haven't thought about it. Tell me this is one-sided and I'll shut up forever. I couldn't. The words wouldn't come. We sat there, inches apart, his hand on my face. Then I pulled back, stood up abruptly. I can't. I'm married. This isn't I can't. I know. I'm sorry. You're right. He stood too. Ran his hands through his hair. I'll go to my room. This was out of line. It's not just you. I feel it too. But I can't act on it. I respect that. I do. But for what it's worth, I think you deserve to be happy. Really happy. Not just comfortable. He went to the guest room. I went to mine. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling again. My phone sat on the nightstand. I could text Mark. Confess everything. Ask him to come home early. End this. before it went further. Instead, I texted Noah. Are you awake? Yeah. I'm sorry, this is confusing. For me too, but in the best way. What are we doing? I don't know, but I don't want it to stop. We texted for an hour. Nothing inappropriate, just talking. But the intimacy of it, lying in our separate beds in the same house, communicating in the dark. It felt more like an affair than anything physical could have. Thursday morning. Mark would be home at 6. Noah had to leave before then. I woke up to the smell of breakfast. Went downstairs to find Noah making pancakes, bacon, the works. Figured I owed you a proper thank you breakfast, he said. Plus, I wanted to see you before I left. We ate together. Talked about his new place, my schedule, surface-level things. But underneath was everything we weren't saying. I should get going, he said, checking his watch. Get settled before you have to deal with real life again. Yeah, probably smart. He loaded his bag, and I walked him to the door. We stood there, awkward suddenly. Thank you, he said, for everything. For taking me in, for the company, for being you. Of course, I'm glad your apartment situation worked out. Can I still text you? Or is this where we go back to being strangers? I don't know what we should do. That's not a no. He hugged me goodbye, a long hug that became longer. His face in my hair, my hands on his back. When we pulled apart, his eyes searched mine. Last chance, he whispered. Tell me to walk away, and I will. Tell me you don't feel this, and I'll leave you alone forever. I feel it, I admitted. But I'm married. That has to mean something. Does it? Does he make you feel the way I do? He kissed me. Or I kissed him. Or we kissed each other. Either way, it happened. In my foyer. In the house I shared with my husband. 3 hours before Mark came home. It was soft at first, tentative. Then desperate. His hands in my hair. Mine clutching his shirt. All the tension of the past 3 months, releasing in that moment. I kissed him back, like a drowning person, grabbing a life raft. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. Come with me, he said. Leave him. We can make this work. I know we can. Noah, My phone rang. Mark again, calling from the airport. Reality crashed back. I stepped away from Noah, answered with shaking hands. Hey babe, just landed. Grabbing my bag now. Should be home in about an hour, if traffic's decent. Want me to pick up dinner? Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. You okay? You sound weird. Fine, just tired. Can't wait to see you. Love you. Love you too. I hung up, looked at Noah. You have to go, now. This isn't over, he said. It has to be. Is it though? Are you going to stop thinking about me? Stop wishing things were different? Please just go. He left. I watched his car pull away, then ran upstairs and stripped the guest bed, started laundry, erased all evidence, opened windows to air out any trace of his cologne, washed the dishes we'd used. My hands were shaking the whole time. Mark came home bearing Italian takeout and stories from his trip. Kissed me hello. Asked about my week. Uneventful, I lied. Just the usual work stuff. Missed you. We ate dinner. I barely tasted it. He showed me photos from the conference. I nodded and smiled. We went to bed early, and he reached for me, and I let him. But the whole time I was thinking about Noah, about that kiss, about the choice I'd made. Afterward, Mark fell asleep with his arm around me. I lay there wide awake, disgusted with myself. And then I made it so much worse. Over the next week, Noah and I texted constantly. The kiss had broken something open. We stopped pretending this was just friendship. He sent me photos of his new place, asked me to help him decorate. I sent him pictures of my classroom, my students' artwork, mundane details of my day. We graduated to calls again now explicitly when Mark wasn't home. I can't stop thinking about you, Noah said one night. About that kiss. Tell me you think about it too. All the time, I admitted. But it can't happen again. Why not? Because I'm married. to someone who doesn't appreciate you, who takes you for granted. I see how you light up when we talk. When's the last time he made you feel that way? I couldn't answer because he was right. The next Thursday, Mark left for another trip. Boston this time. 4 days. Within an hour of him leaving, Noah texted, "I know I shouldn't ask, but can I see you?" I told him to come over. We didn't even pretend to watch a movie this time. Opened wine, sat on the couch, and within 20 minutes we were kissing again. Hands everywhere. Desperate and reckless. You made out like teenagers, and when his hand slid under my shirt, I didn't stop him. But when he started pulling me toward the bedroom, something in me snapped. "No, I can't. Not in our bed." "Then let me take you to my place." "Noah, I can't actually cheat. The kissing is already bad enough. But if we sleep together..." "You're already cheating. This is already an affair." "But it's not sex. That's a line I can't uncross." He was frustrated, but backed off. We spent the next 3 hours on my couch, making out, talking, existing in this limbo where we were absolutely having an affair. But I could still technically tell myself I hadn't fully betrayed my marriage. He left around 2 in the morning. I slept in the guest bed because our bedroom felt too sacred to defile, which was laughable given what I'd already done. This pattern continued. Mark would travel. Noah would come over. We'd drink wine, make out, stop before it went further. I was living a double life. Devoted wife when Mark was home. Noah's almost girlfriend when he wasn't. I told myself I'd end it. Every time Mark came home, I'd decide this was it. I'd cut Noah off, recommit to my marriage. Then Mark would work late or travel again, and I'd text Noah, and the cycle would repeat. My sister Emma noticed something was off when we met for lunch. "You seem distracted. Is everything okay?" "Fine. Just stressed with work." "How's Mark? How's the baby making going?" Guilt crashed over me. We'd completely stopped trying. I'd claimed exhaustion, stress, anything to avoid intimacy with my husband. Taking a break from that. Too much pressure. Makes sense. You'll know when the timing's right. She squeezed my hand. "You guys are solid though, right? You seem... I don't know. Different. We're fine, really." Another lie to add to the pile. Then everything imploded. Mark came home early from a trip. His flight got moved up due to weather. He texted me from the car, saying he'd be home in 30 minutes, asking if I wanted him to grab food. I was on the couch with Noah. His shirt was off. Mine was unbuttoned. We were absolutely going to have sex. I'd finally decided to cross that line, had rationalized it completely in my head. My marriage was over anyway, in everything but name. Mark and I were basically roommates. I deserved happiness. I saw Mark's text and panicked. "You have to leave. Right now. He's coming home." Noah scrambled for his shirt. I buttoned my blouse with shaking hands. We'd been drinking. The evidence was everywhere. Wine glasses, the half-empty bottle on the coffee table. "Your car, it's in the driveway. He'll see it. I'll park down the street and walk back later." "There's no time." Noah grabbed his keys, his shoes, and ran out the back door. I heard his car start, just as I was shoving wine glasses in the dishwasher, throwing away the bottle, spraying air freshener everywhere. I missed Noah's shirt. It was balled up beside the couch. Mark walked in 5 minutes later, saw me in the kitchen, flushed and frantic. "Hey, wow, you made good time," I said, voice too high. "Yeah, traffic was light." He kissed my cheek. "You okay? You seem wound up." "Fine, just cleaning." "Wasn't expecting you so soon." He went to drop his bag in the bedroom. I waited for my heart to stop racing. Maybe I'd gotten away with it. Maybe, whose shirt is this? He was standing in the living room doorway, holding Noah's shirt. A men's shirt that definitely didn't belong to him. My brain completely short-circuited. I should have lied. Should have said a friend borrowed it. Or it was old. Or literally anything. Instead, I stood there frozen, guilt written all over my face. I can explain. Explain what? Why there's another man's shirt in our living room? Why you're flushed and panicked, and the house smells like you tried to cover something up with air freshener? "Mark, please. Is someone here right now?" He started walking through the house, checking rooms. Where is he? No one's here, I swear. But someone was. He was in my face now, holding the shirt. Who's here? Who does this belong to? I could have lied, could have invented a story. Instead, the truth came tumbling out. His name is Noah. He's my ex from college. I've been seeing him, not like that, not sex, just talking and... You've been seeing your ex? Here? In our house? His voice was deadly quiet, which was worse than yelling. While I was working? While I was traveling to support our life? It's not what you think. Then what is it? Explain to me what innocent reason you have for entertaining your ex-boyfriend in our home while I'm out of town. Explain why you're lying and panicking. Explain a shirt. We were just talking. In a state of undress? Do you think I'm stupid? He threw the shirt on the ground. How long? How long has this been going on? 3 months, but we haven't had sex. I swear we haven't. 3 months? He stepped back like I'd hit him. You've been having an affair for 3 months and I had no idea. I came home to my wife every time, completely clueless. While you were... He couldn't even finish. Did he sleep here? In our bed? Guest room. Just once. His apartment flooded and, oh my God, you let him stay here. You let another man sleep in our house. He was pacing now, running his hands through his hair. I defended you. When my mom said you seemed distant, when my friends asked if we were okay, I defended you, said you were just stressed with work. And the whole time, you were cheating. I wasn't. Not really. We didn't have sex. You think that matters? You think the only way to betray me is with sex? He grabbed his phone. I need to leave. I can't even look at you right now. Mark, please. We can talk about this. I'll end it. I'll never see him again. We can go to counseling. You'll end it? He laughed bitterly. You should have ended it before it started. You should have told me the second your ex contacted you. You should have done 1,000 things differently, but instead you chose to lie. For 3 months in our home. He went to the bedroom, started throwing clothes in a bag. Where are you going? Hotel. My brother's. Anywhere but here. Don't leave, please. We can fix this. He stopped, looked at me with such disappointment. It felt physical. You know what the worst part is? I actually thought we were happy. I was planning to surprise you next month with a trip to Hawaii. Was going to suggest we stop stressing about the baby and just enjoy each other. I've been working extra hours to save up for it, and the whole time you were here with him. The Hawaii comment broke something in me. Started crying. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did this. I love you. I do. No, you don't. Not the way you're supposed to. Not the way I loved you. Past tense. If you did, this never would have happened. He zipped his bag, grabbed his keys. I need time. Don't call me. Don't text. I'll reach out when I'm ready to talk about next steps. Next steps? Lawyers, divorce, whatever this becomes. He stopped at the door. I gave you everything. 6 years, my whole heart, my trust, and you threw it away for some guy who already left you once. I hope it was worth it. Then he was gone. I stood in our empty house and finally understood what I'd done. The worst part wasn't even Mark leaving. It was that I'd destroyed something real and good for something that wasn't even real. Just nostalgia and ego and the dopamine hit of feeling wanted. I called Noah. He answered immediately. Is everything okay? I've been worried. Mark knows. He found your shirt. He left me. Silence. Then, oh God, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to come over? Did I? The person I destroyed my marriage for, and I wasn't even sure I wanted to see him. I don't know. I need to think. For what it's worth, maybe this is good. Maybe now we can actually be together without hiding. The suggestion made me nauseous. My marriage just ended. That's not good. I didn't mean, I just meant, now you're free. We can see where this goes without the guilt. I need to go. I hung up and sat in the silence of my ruined life. The next few days were a blur. I called in sick to work. Texted Mark constantly, apologies, explanations, begging. He didn't respond. Emma finally called, having heard from Mark's brother. Please tell me it's not true. Please tell me you didn't cheat on Mark. I didn't have sex with him. That's not a denial. You had an affair. She was crying. How could you? Mark is the best thing that ever happened to you. He's been nothing but good to you. And you did this? I know, I messed up so badly. Messed up? You destroyed your marriage. For what? For some ex who dumped you a decade ago? She took a shaky breath. I can't talk to you right now. I'm too angry. Mark's like a brother to me, and you broke his heart. She hung up. My own sister wouldn't talk to me. Rachel came over, but not to comfort me. I told you. I warned you this would happen, and you did it anyway. I know. Do you, though? Do you understand what you've done? Mark was good to you. He loved you, and you were so busy chasing some fantasy that you didn't appreciate what you had. I know. Do you even want Noah? Or did you just like the attention? The question hit hard, because I didn't have an answer. Noah kept texting, wanting to see me, to support me, to talk about our future. But every time I thought about actually being with him, I felt nothing but regret. I don't know, I admitted. I thought I did, but now that it's real, now that Mark's actually gone. What? I don't want Noah. I want my husband back. You should have thought of that before you invited your ex to play house. She left, and I was alone with my choices. Noah came over uninvited 2 days later, brought food I couldn't eat, tried to hold me while I cried. We can get through this. Once the dust settles, we can be together properly. No more hiding. Being in his arms felt wrong. Everything about him felt wrong now. His cologne, his voice, the way he assumed we'd just transition into a real relationship. I don't think I can see you anymore, I said, pulling away. What? Why not? Because my marriage is over because of you. Because when I look at you, I see everything I lost. But I didn't make you do anything. You chose this. We chose this together. He was right, which made it worse. I know, but I'm choosing to end it now. I need to figure out my life, and I can't do that with you in it. You're going to regret this. We're good together. We're not, though. We're nostalgia and bad decisions. We're not real. I walked to the door, opened it. Please leave. If I go now, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to be your backup plan. I know. Goodbye, Noah. He left, and I felt nothing but release, which told me everything I needed to know about what we'd actually been. I threw myself into trying to fix things with Mark. Sent letters since he wouldn't answer calls. Offered counseling, groveling, anything. His lawyer finally contacted me 3 weeks after he left. Divorce papers. He was serious. I tried to fight it. Showed up at his brother's house where he was staying. He came out but wouldn't let me in. Mark, please. I'll do anything. I ended things with Noah. I'll go to therapy. I'll prove to you that I'm sorry. I believe you're sorry, but that doesn't change what you did. He looked tired, older. You had an affair in our house. You lied to my face for 3 months. You let another man sleep in our guest bed. You kissed him in our home. How am I supposed to come back from that? People do. People work through infidelity all the time. Not when their partner shows them who they really are. He stepped closer. You chose him over me every single day for 3 months. Every time you texted him instead of talking to me. Every time you let him come over. Every decision you made, you chose him. Why would I stay with someone who doesn't choose me? I choose you now. Too late. You don't get to choose me now that your affair is over and you're facing consequences. That's not how this works. His voice cracked slightly. I loved you. God, I loved you so much, but I can't trust you anymore. And without trust, there's nothing. I can earn it back. I don't want you to. I don't want to spend the next years wondering where you are, who you're texting, if you're telling the truth. I don't want to be the husband who has to check his wife's phone. I deserve better than that. So, I'm choosing me. He went back inside. The door closed. That was the last real conversation we had. The divorce went through quickly. No kids. No major assets to fight over. We divided our life in mediation. I got the house. I could barely afford a loan. He took his stuff one day while I was at work, and when I came home, half my life was gone. Social media somehow found out. Someone posted about it in a neighborhood group. Then it spread. My private shame became public gossip. Parents at my school whispered. A few sent complaints to administration about my moral character. I almost lost my job, but got a final warning instead. I ran into Noah once, 3 months after everything fell apart. He was at a coffee shop with another woman, laughing. Saw me and had the decency to look embarrassed. The woman he was with was beautiful, successful looking. Probably didn't come with baggage and a destroyed marriage. He'd moved on that easily. Like I'd been interchangeable. Like the whole thing had been a game. That's when I finally understood I'd destroyed my marriage for someone who didn't even actually want me long term. He'd wanted the chase, the forbidden aspect, the ego boost. Once I was actually available, he'd lost interest, just like he had 10 years ago. I'd given up everything for someone who'd already proven he'd leave me. And I'd done it while married to someone who never would have. 6 months after Mark moved out, I saw his Facebook status change to in a relationship. The photo was of him and a woman I didn't know, both laughing at some restaurant. He looked happy, lighter, like a weight had been lifted. I cried for 3 days. Not because I wanted him back. By then, I'd finally accepted that ship had sailed. But because I'd had someone who loved me, who was building a life with me, who came home to me. And I destroyed it because I was bored and flattered and stupid. Emma finally called me around the 8-month mark. I'm still angry at you, but you're my sister. Are you okay? No, but I will be eventually. Good, because what you did was horrible, but you don't deserve to suffer forever. She paused. Mark seems happy. He's moving on. I know, I saw. Are you moving on? I'm trying. Mostly I'm just trying to understand how I became this person. The cheater. The marriage wrecker. That was never who I thought I'd be. People make mistakes. Really awful, selfish mistakes. The question is, what you do after. What am I supposed to do? He won't even talk to me. I destroyed everything. You learn from it. You figure out why you did it, so you never do it again. You become someone who deserves trust. She sighed. And you accept that some things can't be fixed. Some consequences are permanent. She was right. There was no fixing this. No redemption arc where Mark forgave me and we got back together. This was just my life now. Divorced at 31. Known as the woman who cheated. Living alone in a house full of ghosts. I started therapy. Finally. Dug into why I'd done it. Uncovered uncomfortable truths about myself. How I'd let my marriage become routine because it was easier than working on it. How I'd use Noah as an escape instead of communicating with Mark. How I'd been selfish and immature and unwilling to face my own unhappiness in healthy ways. My therapist asked me one day, if you could go back, what would you do differently? Everything. I'd delete Noah's message. I'd talk to Mark about feeling disconnected. I'd fight for my marriage instead of running away from it. You can't change the past, but you can change how you show up in the future. That's what I've been trying to do. Show up differently. Be honest. Even when it's hard. Not run from discomfort or conflict. Actually work on my issues instead of using other people as band-aids. I'm writing this now because I saw Mark's engagement announcement yesterday. He's getting married. To the woman from the photos, who seems lovely and perfect and nothing like me. They're happy. He's moved on completely, built a new life, found someone who won't betray him. And I'm still here, alone, living with what I did. People ask me sometimes if I regret it, if I'd do it differently. The answer is yes, 1,000 times yes. Not because I want Mark back. He deserves better than me. Not because I miss Noah. I don't, not even a little. But because I hate who I became during those 3 months. I destroyed a good man who loved me because I was too cowardly to admit I was unhappy. too selfish to work on my marriage, too easily flattered by attention from someone who'd already proven he'd leave. I threw away something real for something that was never real at all. The worst part isn't even losing Mark. It's knowing that I'm the villain in this story. I'm not the wronged wife or the woman who had justifiable reasons. I'm just the cheater, the liar, the person who invited her ex to sleep over as friends while her husband was working out of town, and then acted shocked when it all fell apart. Everyone thinks they know what happened. They think I had sex with Noah, that I'm a terrible person who deserves everything I got. And maybe they're right about the second part. But they don't know the full truth, that I destroyed my marriage for someone I didn't even actually want. That the affair was emotional long before it was physical. That I made hundreds of small, selfish choices that added up to complete betrayal. That I knew exactly what I was doing and did it anyway. So yeah, I let my ex sleep over as friends. My husband came home and moved out. And I have no one to blame but myself. The question I'm left with is, does it matter that we never had sex? Does it matter that I ended things with Noah? Does it matter that I'm sorry? I don't think it does. Because the damage was done the second I chose to keep secrets from my husband. The second I prioritized another man's attention over my marriage vows. The second I opened my door to someone I knew I had feelings for, and told myself it was innocent. I'm telling this story because I need to own what I did. No more excuses, no more rationalizations. Just the truth: I had a good marriage and a good man. And I destroyed it all because I was selfish and weak and chasing a fantasy. Mark's getting married next spring. I hope she makes him happy. I hope he never looks back and wonders what went wrong, because he didn't do anything wrong. This was all me. And if you're reading this thinking you'd never do what I did, thinking you'd make better choices, maybe you would. But I thought that too. I never imagined I'd be the person who cheats, who lies, who destroys her own life for someone who doesn't even matter. But here I am, and all I can do is tell the truth and hope that someday I can forgive myself the way I know Mark never will.